Stop scrolling for just 1 second. Somewhere, right now, someone is quietly making a decision about you. Not loudly, not with fireworks, just a soft, private moment where they finally stopped fighting their own heart. And deep down, you already felt it, didn't you? That small flutter, that strange pull in your chest today, that feeling like something is shifting even though nothing around you has changed yet. That is not your imagination. That is your spirit picking up on something real. If you feel that pull right now, type, "I am ready" in the comments below. Just that one word. Let it be your way of saying, "I feel it and I am open to receive it." This is the start of something between us. So let's make it personal from the very first line. Now breathe with me for a moment, dear one, because what I am about to share is not a small thing. A surprise is coming your way, not a random one, not a little gift that will be forgotten in a week. This is the kind of surprise that only shows up once in a long while, the kind that quietly rewrites the next chapter of your life. Someone out there has been carrying you in their thoughts for a long time, and today they finally did something they have been too scared to do for months. They made a decision. They took a step, and that step has your name written all over it. You do not know all the details yet. Your eyes cannot see it happening, but your spirit already knows. That is why you are here watching this right now at this exact moment. This message found you for a reason. This is not a normal kind of surprise. It is not a passing gesture that comes and goes without meaning. This is the kind of moment that makes you pause and think, wait, something bigger is happening here. Something so deep, so honest, and so real that it almost feels sacred. Dear soul, pause for a moment. Welcome to the Angel's Message for You original channel. Please check the channel name carefully. It's Angel's Message for You. This is our only official channel. Beware of copycat and fake channels. Stay connected to the original source to receive authentic angel messages and true blessings. A very special thank you to dear Stephen and Gail Such Smiley for sowing your seed for Soulmate here through Ko-Fi link. Super thanks. May this seed return to you multiplied with soulmate blessings, divine protection, love, well-being, and abundance. May the angels guide and watch over you always. Thank you for your beautiful support. Blessings always. Let's know what angels want us to know. The person behind this has been wrestling with their own heart for a long time. They have gone back and forth. They have doubted themselves. They have overthought every little detail. But today, something in them finally broke free from all that hesitation. Today, they stopped waiting. Today, your path quietly shifted, even if you cannot feel the full weight of it just yet. Take a breath. Let that truth settle into your heart for a second. Now listen closely, because the next part might surprise you even more. This person, the one preparing this moment for you, has been quietly watching your strength this whole time. They have seen you get back up after storms that would have knocked most people down. They have seen you fight battles that nobody else even knew you were fighting. They have watched you walk through hard seasons all alone, when people who should have stayed chose to walk away instead. And every single time they watched you keep going, something inside them whispered the same thing again and again. This person deserves more. This person deserves better. This person deserves something real. This decision they made is not something that happened out of nowhere. It did not come from a random mood or a passing feeling. It came from many quiet nights of thinking about you. It came from conversations they wanted to have but never found the courage to start. It came from regrets that sat heavy in their chest, night after night. And it came from a truth they simply cannot keep pushing away anymore. They know they waited too long to say certain things. They know they let silence build a wall between you. They know distance grew when it did not need to. But now, right now, they are choosing to act before life quietly takes that chance away from both of you. You can almost feel the weight of their decision even through this screen. Can't you? That is not a coincidence. That is real energy reaching you. Something big is on its way to you. This is the kind of moment that becomes a turning point in your story, one you will look back on and understand completely. If these words are landing somewhere deep in you right now, drop a little heart or the word Amen below. Let your energy join this moment. Now hear this next part with your whole heart. This surprise carries a secret, something this person has been too afraid to say out loud for a long time. A truth that, once you hear it, will suddenly make so many confusing pieces of your story make sense. They have kept this truth locked away for so long that even life itself seemed to grow tired of waiting and started gently pushing them toward action. And today they finally let go. They finally stopped holding back. They finally admitted to themselves that they cannot bear the thought of losing you. They cannot handle one more day of silence. They cannot watch you keep moving forward without knowing what has been sitting quietly in their heart this whole time. So they made a choice. Maybe it is a message. Maybe it is a call. Maybe it is a visit. Maybe it is a small gift with a big meaning behind it. Whatever shape it takes, it carries your name, your energy, and a piece of your story tied into it. Someone is preparing to show up for you in a way they never have before. They are coming with real intention this time, with an open heart, and with something they have kept locked away for far too long. When this reaches you, it is going to shift something inside your life. You will finally understand why you had to wait. You will understand why certain things never worked out the way you hoped. You will see that every disappointment along the way was quietly clearing space for this exact moment. Because this surprise is not the end of anything. It is the beginning of something you always deserved, even on the days you doubted it would ever come. Let that truth wrap around your heart for a moment, dear one. Now feel this with your whole spirit. The energy around you is shifting like a big wave slowly rising before it gently breaks onto a new shore. The person preparing this surprise has reached a place where hiding their feelings is simply not possible anymore. Something in their life recently shook them awake. Maybe it was a hard realization. Maybe it was a wave of regret. Maybe it was a quiet fear that crept in at night. And in the middle of all that shaking, one thought kept rising louder than everything else. You, your name, your face, your presence. They tried to push the feeling down. They thought that staying quiet and keeping their distance would make it fade over time. But instead, every single day without you started feeling heavier, sharper, harder to carry. They realized that losing you would break something in them that nothing else ever could. And that is exactly why, in a moment of raw honesty with themselves, they finally took action. What they are preparing carries the weight of an honest confession, the warmth of a real promise, and the strength of a true turning point. Dear one, something big really is waiting for you. And it is moving toward you faster than you might think. Because life has a way of clearing the path when something meaningful is finally ready to arrive. This person's heart is no longer confused. It has woken up. Their spirit is no longer hesitant. It is finally ready. Every next step they take is being shaped with you in mind. Let's go even deeper now. What they are preparing is not just a simple plan. It is a message, one that quietly says, I choose you. Finally, for months they have carried a heavy weight. Guilt for not showing up the way they should have. Fear of being turned away. Shame for watching you go through hard things without stepping in to help. But something shifted inside them. Something that cannot be undone. Recently, Something small but powerful reminded them of exactly who you are, what you truly mean to them, and what they stand to lose forever if they keep staying silent. So they made their move. This is not only an emotional gesture. It has a real shape to it. Time, place, purpose. And that purpose is quietly tied to your own path forward. They want to fix something that broke. They want to reveal something they have hidden. They want to return something that was never truly given up. They want to confess something they have kept close to their chest. They want to begin something new, something honest, something real. You have no idea how many times they have practiced this moment quietly in their mind. How many times they have imagined finally showing up. How many times they have imagined saying your name out loud with a trembling kind of honesty. And now that moment is slowly coming to life. Take a slow breath with me, dear one. Let's go even further, because the timing of all this is not an accident. It is something bigger than that. Nothing about your life so far has been wasted or random. Not the pain, not the silence, not the long waiting. Every delay was quietly preparing you. Every hard moment redirected you somewhere better. Every disappointment cleared just enough space for this one powerful moment that is now moving toward you. The person behind all of this is nervous. They are scared. Their emotions are running high. But they are determined because they finally understand that this chance will not come around forever, and they refuse to waste it. They are choosing courage instead of fear, action instead of delay, truth instead of pride. What they are preparing is their way of stepping out of their old patterns and walking into a future that has your presence written all through it. And the moment it reaches you, something inside you is going to shift permanently. You will not see the past the same way again. You will not question your own worth the way you used to, because this moment carries a kind of truth that gently melts away every doubt you have carried for so long. Take that in for a second, dear one. Everything that has stayed hidden is starting to rise to the surface now. The energy around your life feels like a door slowly creaking open after being stuck shut for a very long time. The person preparing this is not doing it lightly or on a whim. They reached a point where pretending everything was fine simply stopped being possible. For months, they carried a quiet storm inside themselves. They tried to distract themselves with work, with people, with noise, hoping it would fade. But life kept gently proving them wrong. Little signs kept following them. Your name kept coming up in the strangest of places. Your presence kept lingering in their thoughts, quiet but constant. And recently, something happened that made their heart crack wide open. A memory, a moment, a conversation, a quiet realization that hit harder than expected. Something that made them think, if I do not act now, I might lose the one connection that has always felt right. That fear woke them up completely, and that same fear is exactly why they are preparing this for you right now. This is not just a gesture. It feels more like a quiet declaration, an honest confession, a small but powerful shift in direction. They know you waited far longer than you should have had to. They know you carried more than your fair share of pain. They know you kept showing warmth even when you received very little back. That understanding has been sitting heavy in their heart, pushing them gently but firmly toward finally doing something about it. Something wonderful really is on its way to you. Life is aligning things with real speed right now. Doors that felt closed are slowly opening. Old delays are dissolving. Whatever was standing in the way is quietly clearing out of the path. The closer this moment gets to reaching you, the more nervous excitement this person feels rising inside them. Fear mixed with hope, longing mixed with regret, all of it pushing them forward instead of holding them back. They are not doing this because it feels easy. They are doing it because their heart will not let them sit still anymore. And when this reaches you, your heart is going to recognize why every single moment of waiting mattered. Dear soul, if this message found you today, perhaps there is something beautiful being prepared that you cannot see yet. Your soulmate may be making plans, preparing their heart, or taking a step that will eventually bring your paths closer. Sometimes God prepares the blessing quietly before revealing it openly. The Bible reminds us in Proverbs 11 verse 25, "A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." If your heart feels led, you can sow a seed through Ko-Fi Super Thanks as a heartfelt expression of faith, gratitude, and generosity for what is being prepared in divine timing. You'll find the Ko-Fi link in the video description and pinned comment. Let your seed represent one simple intention. May we both be prepared for the beautiful love God has planned. May your generosity bring encouragement to others, and may your soulmate journey unfold with peace, wisdom, and perfect timing. Let's continue with Divine Angel's message. Let's sit with something even deeper for a moment. What is coming toward you is bigger than you might currently imagine. Hidden inside all of this is a truth that could gently reshape the way you understand your connection with this person. They have been carrying something private, something they never felt brave enough to say, something that scared them simply because it exposed how much they actually care. But life has been slowly working on them, softening their walls, gently pushing them to finally face what they kept running from. And now, they are finally ready to speak the truth that has quietly weighed on their heart for so long. That truth has been building inside them, growing heavier with each day that passed. And they have realized that the only real way to feel light again is to finally be honest with you. This moment is their doorway to honesty, their doorway to making things right, their doorway back to you. What they are preparing holds real emotion, real intention, a depth you will likely feel the moment it reaches you. They did not do this carelessly or on impulse. They did this because something inside them simply could not stay quiet any longer. They tried to forget. They tried to distract themselves. They tried moving on, but their heart refused to let go. And when they truly considered what losing you would feel like, everything in them softened. So, they decided to do something that would bring them back in front of you again, whether that is in person, through a message, or simply through the honesty of their words. When this reaches you, the world might feel like it slows down for a moment. Your heart may feel the full weight of everything they had been holding back. Your spirit is going to recognize the shift instantly. This is not meant to shock you for the sake of shocking you. It is meant to gently change something in you for the better. Now, dear one, if your heart feels a little warmer right now, if your chest feels lighter, if something inside you is quietly whispering that something good is coming, trust that feeling completely. Your spirit is simply sensing what your eyes cannot see just yet. You might even notice small physical signs as you sit with this message. A sudden warmth in your chest, a light tingling on your skin, a feeling of your eyes wanting to well up even though nothing sad is happening. These are not random reactions. These are simply your body responding to truth. When something real is being spoken, the body often feels it before the mind fully understands it. So if you are feeling any of that right now, let it happen. Do not push it away. Let it move through you gently, like a wave rolling in and rolling back out, leaving you a little lighter than before. This moment is already in motion. The decision has already been made. Life is already rearranging small details behind the scenes to bring it to you. And the person behind it all is nervous, pacing, quietly rehearsing words they have never said out loud before, choosing courage over comfort. They keep replaying the moment in their mind, the moment they finally share what you never expected but always deserved to hear. They have imagined your reaction so many times, your surprise, your stillness, maybe even a few tears. They know this moment is going to reach you deeper than anything before it. And that is exactly why they want to do it. They want this to be a moment you never forget. They want it to gently rewrite the pain, the confusion, and the doubts that came before it. They want to close the distance that has quietly sat between you both for too long. This connection you share is not something ordinary. This story is far from finished, and what they are preparing marks the start of a new chapter, one that feels nothing like the one before it. It carries clarity, closure, honesty, healing, and a fresh beginning, all wrapped into one moment. Hold your heart steady, because life is preparing to bring you something truly meaningful. Dear one, that quiet feeling you have been sensing, the one that keeps softly brushing against your heart like a whisper, is closer than you think. The person preparing this moment has been completely overwhelmed by something they can no longer ignore. Their thoughts have been consumed by you. Their next steps, every single one, are being shaped with you in mind. What they are preparing is emotionally heavy in the best way. It is a confession wrapped gently inside an action. It carries regret, longing, clarity, honesty, and a decision they feared for a long time but have finally accepted. They do not want to lose you. Not again. Not this time. They have replayed the moments they hurt you without meaning to. The times they stayed quiet when they should have spoken up. The times they pretended not to care simply because it felt safer. And that quiet guilt slowly grew into something they could no longer carry alone. That is exactly what pushed them into this moment, into this brave step, into finally letting their heart be seen. Something wonderful really is waiting for you, and this time it feels unstoppable. They can already feel the weight of what they are about to share. They know it will move something deep inside you, soften your doubts, and open a new chapter you were always meant to step into. This is not a small gesture. This is one of the biggest emotional steps they have ever taken. Let's go even deeper for a moment. What they are preparing has layers, gentle, complex, emotional layers. And underneath all of it lies the one thing they were most afraid to face: their true feelings for you. They tried to hide from their own heart. They tried building walls. They tried convincing themselves that distance was easier. But life kept gently pulling them back toward you. Little signs kept appearing. Old memories kept resurfacing. Their true feelings kept slipping through every wall they tried to build. And then something happened. A dream, a message, a quiet conversation, a fear of losing you completely. Whatever it was, it finally broke through their resistance. And now, this moment is their way of stepping into honesty. Their way of finally facing you with truth instead of fear. Their way of gently repairing what slipped through the cracks. Their way of finally saying the words they held back for far too long. Dear one, they know this might surprise you. It might even overwhelm you a little. It might bring a few tears. But they are ready for that because for the first time, they want to show you something real, something that comes straight from their heart. And when it finally reaches you, something in your life is going to shift in a single, quiet moment. This person is getting ready to face you in a way they never have before. They are practicing their words. They are working through their emotions. They are imagining how you might react. Everything inside them feels like it is trembling, not out of fear of you, but out of fear of missing the chance to finally show you what you truly mean to them. This moment is tied closely to timing, to place, to emotion, and to the direction your life is heading. None of it is random. None of it is accidental. Every small detail feels aligned in a way that only happens when something meaningful is truly ready to unfold. The wheels are already turning. Life is already gently pushing this toward you. And this person is already bracing themselves for the moment everything finally comes into the open. When this reaches you, it is going to bring an end to confusion, an end to waiting, an end to distance, an end to silence. This is the moment that has quietly been building behind the scenes for a long time, a moment that will shift you from uncertainty into clarity, from waiting into finally receiving, from guessing into truly knowing. Dear one, gently brace your heart, because what is coming your way has the power to reshape your whole path forward. It is big. It is emotional. It is the kind of moment that changes the direction of a life. And it carries your name with real, honest intention. If you feel this energy settling into your heart, drop the word Amen in the comments below. And if this message is speaking to you, share it so it can find its way to someone else who needs to hear it too. Life is moving with a kind of quiet speed right now that would honestly surprise you if you could see it clearly. Threads of connection are being gently pulled together with an intensity that only shows up when something truly meaningful is about to unfold. The person preparing this moment has finally stepped into a space they avoided for far too long, plain, raw, honest truth. For months, their heart carried the weight of everything they never said, everything they never admitted, everything they tried to quietly bury. But truth has a way of rising to the surface when the timing is finally right. And that time is now. They have been receiving little signs too, just like you, except theirs felt louder, because they were the ones resisting the truth the longest. Every time they tried to walk away, something gently pulled them back. Every time they tried convincing themselves they could let go, life sent a quiet reminder their way. Your name, your memory, your energy. They tried to distract themselves with everything around them, but nothing ever fully drowned out that quiet ache. And recently, something hit them hard enough to crack their heart wide open. They realized they were standing right at the edge of losing someone who has always felt meant for them. That fear burned straight through their hesitation. That fear is exactly why they finally took this step. What they are preparing carries real intention, real desire, real honesty. It carries the weight of everything they wish they had said much sooner. They are not doing this out of excitement alone anymore. They are doing this because they simply cannot live with the regret of losing you. They have reached the point where staying silent hurts far more than being honest ever could. And that is exactly why, right now, this moment is quietly getting closer to you with every passing second. Something meaningful really is waiting for you. Listen with your whole spirit for this next part. Behind everything they are preparing lies a confession that has been trying to break free from their heart for months. They swallowed their truth. They silenced their emotions. They acted strong. They acted distant. They acted unbothered. But none of it was ever real. Their silence was fear. Their distance was confusion. Their coldness was simply self-protection. And life finally gently cornered them into facing that truth. They still want you. They still choose you. They still feel this connection deeply. This moment they are preparing is their way of finally breaking free from the cycle they trapped themselves in. They know you gave more than they ever fully acknowledged. They know you stayed longer than most people would have. They know you carried wounds that were not yours to carry. They know you waited patiently for something they did not always deliver. That understanding has been quietly weighing on them, night after night, until it became something they simply could not carry anymore. So now, Their heart is trembling with a mix of fear and quiet determination. They are stepping into a moment that will reveal their deepest feelings. They are preparing to finally say the words they never had the courage to speak before. They are preparing to share thoughts they never let themselves fully admit, even to themselves. Dear soul, before we continue with today's angel message, I'd like to invite you into a small but meaningful act of faith for your soulmate journey. Love is one of heaven's greatest gifts, yet every precious connection can face moments of uncertainty, fear, or unseen negativity. If your heart feels led to place your soulmate connection into God's loving hands, you can sow your seed through Ko-Fi Super Thanks. You'll find the Ko-Fi link in the video description and the pinned comment. As you give, let your seed become a heartfelt intention of hope, inviting the angels to surround you and your soulmate with divine protection, healing, wisdom, and perfect timing. May your connection continue to grow under God's guidance, strengthened by love, peace, and His everlasting light. The Bible reminds us that every act of generous giving is an expression of faith. Proverbs 11 verse 25 says, "A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." And Acts 20 verse 35 reminds us, "It is more blessed to give than to receive." When we give with a joyful heart, we honor God and place our trust in His perfect plan. If you feel called to sow this seed today, thank you from the bottom of my heart. May God bless your generosity, strengthen your soulmate bond, and fill your life with love, favor, and heavenly peace. Now, let's continue with today's angel message. This moment is more than just a gesture. It is a mirror reflecting a truth they have been hiding, a truth that life is gently pushing to the surface now. They imagine the moment you receive it, your stillness, your surprise, the way your heart might skip a beat. They imagine the shift in energy the second their truth finally reaches you. They want this moment to feel unforgettable, honest, and impossible to ignore. They want to break down whatever distance has quietly grown between you. They want to end the confusion, end the silence, end the space that grew where connection used to be. This is not a small step for them. It is one of the biggest emotional leaps of their life. And once it reaches you, your story is not going to look the same again. Dear one, hear this final truth for now. Life has been quietly preparing you for this moment for far longer than you realize. Every delay, every emotional pause, every confusing silence, every painful ending, all of it served a purpose. You were never stuck. You were being positioned. You were never forgotten. You were being prepared. You were never overlooked. You were being aligned with something better. What is coming your way is not only about the person behind it. It is about your own path quietly settling into the place it was always meant to be. This moment marks the end of uncertainty in your story, the end of waiting, the end of guessing, the end of feeling unseen. Something meaningful is stepping into your life with real, undeniable presence. The person behind this moment is finally listening to their heart instead of their fear, finally choosing honesty over pride, finally choosing action instead of silence. Their spirit has felt restless without you, not for attention, but because something in them recognizes something true in you. This moment is going to gently break the old cycle. It is going to open a door that has been closed for far too long. It is going to bring clarity, honesty, and a real sense of closure, all in one breath. You are stepping into a season where answers finally come to you instead of you having to chase them, where truth finds you instead of you having to beg for it, where warmth shows up instead of hiding away. So take a moment right now, prepare your heart, prepare your energy, prepare your spirit, because what is meant for you is already on its way. And when it arrives, your whole life is going to shift in one simple, powerful moment. Hold steady, dear one. Something meaningful is only minutes away from gently revealing itself. Let's slow down for a moment, because there is something else worth saying here. So many people spend their whole lives waiting for permission to feel good things, waiting for proof before they let themselves hope, waiting for someone else to confirm that they are worthy of something wonderful. But hope does not need proof to be real. It only needs a little bit of room to breathe inside you. So today, give yourself that room. Let yourself feel a little lighter, even if just for these few minutes. Let yourself imagine, just for a second, what it would feel like if everything shifted the way your spirit has been quietly telling you it will. That imagining is not silly. It is not wishful thinking. It is your inner knowing gently reaching out to meet you halfway. Think about everything you have survived up to this point. Think about the mornings you did not think you would get through, and yet here you are. Think about the seasons that felt endless, the ones that made you wonder if things would ever change. And now look at where you are sitting today, listening to this message, feeling something stir inside you that you cannot quite explain. That is not an accident. That is life quietly rewarding your patience. You were never being punished during those hard seasons. You were simply being shaped. Every ounce of strength you built during those quiet, lonely nights is exactly what is going to help you carry this new chapter with grace. Nothing you went through was wasted. Every tear had a purpose. Every disappointment cleared out something that was never meant to stay in your life anyway. And now, dear one, a door is opening. Not because you begged for it, not because you chased it, but because you kept showing up as yourself, even when it was hard, even when nobody was clapping for you, even when you felt invisible. That quiet consistency is exactly what caught the attention of destiny. The person behind this moment sees that in you, even if they have never said it out loud. They see the way you keep choosing kindness even after being let down. They see the way you keep believing in good things even after disappointment. They see the quiet strength you carry without ever needing to announce it. And that quality is rare. That quality is the reason they cannot stay away any longer. Take a moment and think about the timing of everything happening around you right now. The little coincidences, the songs that seem to speak directly to your situation, the conversations that circle back to the same themes again and again. None of that is random. Life speaks in patterns, and lately the pattern has been pointing you toward this exact moment. Trust what you are feeling, even if you cannot fully explain it yet. Trust the small flutter in your chest. Trust the sense that something is about to shift. Your body and spirit often know things long before your mind catches up. And right now, they are trying to tell you to stay open, to stay soft, to stay ready. This is also a good moment to release anything you have been holding onto too tightly. Old hurt, old disappointment, old fear that things will fall apart the moment they start to go right. You do not need to carry all of that into this new chapter. You are allowed to set it down. You are allowed to walk forward a little lighter than you have been. If you are the kind of person who has been protecting your heart for a long time, that makes complete sense. You had good reason to build those walls. But walls that once protected you can also quietly keep out the very thing you have been hoping for. So today, just consider softening even slightly, not recklessly, just enough to let something good find its way in. The person preparing this moment for you has had to do the same kind of softening. They had to face their own fear of rejection, their own fear of being too late, their own fear of not being enough. And instead of staying stuck in that fear, they chose to move forward anyway. That kind of courage deserves to be met with an open heart, not suspicion, not doubt, but genuine openness. Of course, it is okay to still be a little cautious. Wisdom and openness can exist together. You do not have to abandon your good judgment to receive something good. Just try not to let old wounds speak louder than the new possibility standing in front of you. Something else worth remembering, dear one, is that timing in life rarely looks the way we expect it to. Sometimes the thing we hoped for arrives earlier than planned, and sometimes it arrives after we have almost given up on it completely. But either way, when it finally arrives, it tends to arrive exactly when we are ready to receive it fully, not a moment before. So if you feel like this moment is arriving later than you wanted, try to trust that the waiting served a purpose. Maybe you needed that time to grow. Maybe you needed that time to heal. Maybe you needed that time to become the version of yourself who could actually recognize a good thing when it finally showed up. And if this moment feels like it is arriving sooner than expected, trust that too. Sometimes life moves quickly once all the pieces are finally in place. You do not always need years of preparation. Sometimes all you needed was this one moment of alignment, and everything else naturally falls into step behind it. Whatever shape this surprise takes, whatever form it arrives in, try to receive it with an open heart instead of overanalyzing every detail. Not everything needs to be understood right away. Some things are meant to be felt first and understood later. Take a slow breath again, dear one. Let your shoulders relax. Let your jaw unclench. Let your mind quiet down even just for a moment. You do not need to force anything right now. You simply need to stay open and let life do what it has already begun doing. This message found you today for a reason. Out of everything you could have been doing right now, you are here, listening to these words, feeling something shift quietly inside you. That is not a coincidence. That is confirmation. Your spirit called this moment toward you, and it answered. So hold on to that feeling. Let it settle into your bones. And when this surprise finally reaches you in whatever form it takes, remember this message. Remember that you were told ahead of time to stay open, to stay soft, to stay ready. Remember that you were reminded that everything you went through was leading you here. Hold steady, dear one. Something meaningful is only minutes away from gently revealing itself. If these words touch something real inside you today, let me know by commenting the word Amen below, and share this with anyone else who might need to hear it too. Something wonderful truly is waiting for you. Dear beautiful soul, this angel's message for you channel is a sacred spiritual home, created for faith, healing, and divine guidance. A place where hearts awaken and lives are gently transformed through divine messages. We warmly invite you to subscribe and stay connected, because the divine is always preparing something greater for your journey, something you are meant to receive in divine timing. If you feel moved to support this mission, you can sow your seed here for your soulmate blessings and divine love fulfillment. Your contribution is not just support. It is an energetic agreement with love, healing, and divine alignment in your own life. When you give with intention, it opens doors. Love flows more freely, happiness expands, and abundance multiplies in unexpected ways. Many believe that giving in faith activates a return of peace, joy, and emotional fulfillment in relationships and life. Whether it is $11, $22, $33, or $55, your generosity helps us continue spreading these divine messages of hope, healing, and soulmate guidance across the world. Every seed sown into this mission helps hearts heal, faith return, and souls reconnect with love. This is more than a channel. It is a movement of light, unity, and divine timing. Your support allows this sacred work to grow, touching lives that are searching for answers, comfort, and spiritual direction. We are all connected in this journey, and together we rise as one community under divine love. Let us open our hearts to the abundance that is already on its way. Amen.